Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the BX03 Crazy Scorpion Giant. This is a pretty much straight up knockoff of the original vintage G1 Scorponok. Now, I've never had a complete one. I have a vintage one that I'm going to compare it to that's more or less a shell, and we're going to have some fun with it. We're going to see what this bad boy does, but we're also going to see if these parts will fit on a G1. And for $95, this KO is a definite good value. Just looking online, the last KO you can't get for less than, $300. An original one, 100% complete, in decent shape, is $400. So for $95 to be able to get to relive your childhood or fill in a gap that you never had this before, I did get this at Shozy store. You can get yours there right now. If you go over there, use the TH in the support your favorite reviewer box on the main page. If you want to buy one of these, $95, and it helps out the channel. But don't miss out on this if you're interested in it. But if you're not interested in actually buying one, let's just check out and see what this does. And do the parts match a vintage one, because it usually doesn't on KOs. We'll see this and more coming up. All right, here is the box. It's a good sized box. Shows both modes, the BX03 Crazy Scorpion Giant, and then there's magnets, like several in this panel here, and you can open it up. There's a handle here to carry it as if you're gonna like take it to your friend's house or something, and then there it is. There it is. You know, it's G1 goodness. Not bad. Anyway, let's get it out of here and take a look at it. All right, so here he is out of the box, and I gotta say that it looks absolutely magnificent. I like the shine and the sheen that we got on this bad boy. He looks really good, and the color of the green, it's a little darker in a way than mine, but shinier, and just handling a new one feels so different than handling one that's 40 years old and been thrown around. So, wow. It's nice to have a new one. Now, I don't have the stickers on it. It does have sticker sheet, but I don't really mess around with putting stickers on these. I always regret it. I gotta say, I'll probably regret it at the end of the day, but still, great looking detail. You do have several paint apps, like the orange, and there's some paint here on this gray on the side. I'm guessing, I'm hearing this is die cast, so it's 100% painted plus some other paint apps on it, if that really is die cast. I mean, I'm touching it, and it's sort of cold, but not too cold. I mean, hey, it's July, and nothing's really cold in July. And then more of these orange dots painted in on them. It looks good. I love the vac metal on the vac metal piece down there. And it looks super shiny and new. Fantastic. It's a lot of fun getting a new vintage toy. Partially, part of the fun with the missing link is the fact that you get it brand new, shiny, and crisp, versus for myself, a lot of my stuff I bought even 20 years ago, and it's kind of beat up. This is brand new. Before we go any further, I'm going to slow this all down and talk about Fast Tracks. Fast Tracks in itself, I looked up online, and the cheapest you can get a Fast Tracks is like $75 just for this little guy. And if you don't pay attention to the market, to like the vintage G1 stuff, you don't realize how like hard it is to find this stuff. So to say, hey, I just missed my Fast Tracks, $95 on this, I'm so happy. So I can just use this. If I wanted to choose to use this, I could use this as my Fast Tracks with a G1 one, and then plug those arms in. So I guess you're just folding it over. That's how you make them go. And I believe you could put his guns in other places. Looking at the box, since I actually never had a G1 Fast Tracks, this is all new to me. Looking at the box shows this is how it's supposed to look, like that. But the box also shows it without the guns on, and I'm not falling for that propaganda. I'm not losing these guns. Guns. Let's go ahead and get into a little articulation. You really can't move the head around at all. You could pull the headmaster out. We will do that because we're going to do a little something like a segment I call Does It Fit? But there's his chest showing all of the stuff going on. And if we had the stickers on it, I guess it would say speed and all that stuff. But anyway, this here is the is the ramp, the popping ramp. Oh, now I feel the cold touch, just fiddling with that more. You do have the shoulder that goes, it's got a lot of articulation, goes way up, go further than that, but then you start running into some issues. 360, and then let's move this down. You do have some movement right here, and I think that's it. This doesn't even move. This doesn't. You would think it would, but it doesn't, so we're not going to mess with all of that. Waist swivel? Is there? No waist swivel in it. Nope. No swivel. Leg can go out to just there, and about 90, and not all the way 90 to the back. Of course, when you manipulate it around, you'll be able to take it all the way to the side. It's part of the transformation, so that's where half of the articulation comes in, is just for the transformation. Then does the knee move? No knee movement. I think it moves this way because of the transformation. And then we got a toe tilt down, which doesn't really toe tilt, but you can get them on a wide, yeah, just stand them like a brick. Stand them like a brick. Hey, it's G1. That's what they did back then. All right, so before we get into any transformations or other modes, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison with the vintage one. And it looks literally 1-to-1 exact. I might be wrong. It might be 1% different, but everything so far looks side-by-side 1-to-1. The paint, the orange paint looks really, really close. I can't tell if it's any different. And it will be fun to see if it looks any different in editing. And then, of course, we have the coloration of it. And like I said, it does look like the green's a little bit darker, but it's not a bad thing to me. And so with that, maybe this faded over time, or just the Pantones they used in the coloration mix slightly different, but still very, very close. The purple looks more vibrant than on this old beat up one I got for 40 bucks. Still, 40 bucks was a lot of money back in like 2006. So just think about that. Think about that. So anyhow, yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's get into playing this game. You want to play the game? The Does It Fit game. So first off, we're going to remove Lord Zarak and turn him into Lord Zarak. And I understand that people say don't move the arms on these because you could break the tabs. And then part of transforming Zarak is folding this piece up, which is very common for these, which, I don't know, it's not wanting to go up for me. It feels so dirty when I have to use a spudger, especially on a G1. And so there's Lord Zarak, but we're going to see if he fits. So this part here is almost worth the admission into buying this set. And let's see, does it fit on his head? Let's go up here. Now, one thing you're going to be able to do with this little helmet is fold it back, lift the visor up, and then kind of slide Zarak in, and he fits. Hold on. Well, my hole's worn out on my vintage one there, and there we go. And he fits. Now, does it change this? Yeah, but I think something's out of order with mine. But still, yeah, there's that. Does it fit? It fits. Next, does it fit? We're going to see if one of these cannons, or all cannons, would fit over here. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It fits. I also want to point out that if you have this gun, it can clip to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 6 different spots it could clip to. The side of the hand is one of them, and I see that displayed more often than not. I think that the inner tab, I don't know. I don't see people clip it to the inner tab as much, but does it fit on this? Oh, yes, it does. It fits in just fine. Is that a 5mm port? I'm not sure. So far, we're batting 1,000 here. Does this back metal piece, does it fit? So you push down on it and slide it out, and then we're gonna push it into here, and then push down on it as you insert it. And yes, it fits. So everything so far, absolutely everything so far on this from the KO fits, which I'm not used to. I am used to anything knockoff. The parts don't fit on original vintage. Why does that matter so much? Why is it important? Because if you buy this $95 one, you could put the parts on your vintage one. But let me say this, do not try to pass these off as originals if you sell your original one, because that's wrong. It's naughty. And I'm sure there's a way to tell, I just don't know how to tell. Alright, so let's just get this guy into Scorponok. Scorponok mode. Make him a scorpion. Let's take these off, because I think that's how it's going to work. That's how it's going to work for me. We're going to flip his arms up, or his claws, and wow, I gotta say, that is just really, really smooth in comparison. Notice I don't have Zarak in there, so it's not a thing that you really need to worry about yet. Putting Zarak in there. We're gonna flip him over, roll his tail to the back, and then fold his his tail untabs. I do want to point that out too. His tail untabs from there, and then it goes down, and then fold these down, and this up, and then there's kind of a tab mechanism to go into there, and slots into place, and then same thing over here. Technically you're breaking the connection there, and then you lift the tail up, unfold this. We just did this. It's almost the exact same transformation. There's tabs to holes for the third party one that's kind of in between Titan and this. Put that in there so the tab's in, and then put these legs up. They're notched, and then turn to the front here. You put the guns where they're facing, and more guns here. Guns. And then I'll get his head on there, and we'll pretty much be done with the Scorpion mode. Alright, let's pop his helmet on there. Here you go, Darth helmet. There's one hole that tabs into here, and one that tabs into there. Darth helmet. Here is in a Scorpion mode, Scorponok mode. And yeah, looks pretty good. Looks very good. And you can put your Lord Zarak in there. Now I'm going to say that I'm finding so far the biggest problem I have with this, and it's not really that far off from the same problem I have with my vintage one, is this helmet doesn't want to stay on very well. With the vintage one, it stays on pretty well. It's probably too tight, and this it's too loose. Maybe they were trying to make an improvement to where it's not. The vintage ones are too tight, and they wanted to loosen it up a little bit. I mean, it works fine when you got Zarak in there. It works fine like this because it's angled down, but as you saw, it fell off very easy. Barely touched it during transformation, it fell off. So only negative so far that I see with this is the helmet, which is something you can overcome in all modes anyway. So here it is from the back, and I feel like we just did this with that last one, which off the top of my head I can't even remember what it's called, but the last Scorponok, and it's a third party, and it's between the size of this and the size of the Titan class, which when we get to base mode, I'm going to show you my base, the other one, how I've got it set up as a base. I'm not messing with it though. I'm not going to be like bringing it over here. It's going to go over there. But yeah, here it looks pretty good. It does pretty good. Okay, now it's got one feature that I never even knew till I got this one. And I guess you have to have things lined up just right, but yeah, there you go. And with this, so the claw, you need these claws to go forward, and the legs move. Like keys on a piano. There it goes. Right, here we go with size comparison next to a G1 Optimus Prime in cab mode, in the truck mode, and the Missing Link Optimus Prime, and it's a good size toy. I mean, you think about it, seriously underscaled for the line, even G1. But bringing something like that into reality, it's a bigger toy than the rest of your Transformer for the most part. Maybe about the same size as Omega Supreme. I mean, it's still bigger than Metroplex, so I mean, there's that. So anyway, there's a size comparison for you. So let's get this bad boy into base mode. I'm going to pop these off. It's off and popping. Set them aside. Do not lose them. We're going to fold this up and then bring these in, and we're there. We're there, we're there. And we're going to pull Zarak out of there. Set him aside. Then we're going to flip this around. And let's kind of pull this down because these little tabs are connected into there. And then we are going to extend the leg. And what the goal here is to have this orange piece on the top. So you're going to rotate it, and the direction I'm rotating it is, I think, the only way it's going to go without bumping into something, without bumping and grinding. Oh, there we go. And there's that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Pull this out and then rotate it backwards. There we go. I think we got that going on. My toes folded up on their own. Or no, they were already folded up from the other mode. Never mind. Thinking all crazy stuff here. I'm going to fold this up into here. Bring it around. Oh, yeah. And then this folds up like so. And then we bring this out on that side, and we got the ramp. Now, again, this would look so much better, I agree, with the stickers on it. I really debate putting the stickers on these things. I like having an unused sticker sheet, but I will point out it does look better if you got the stickers on it. Then here we go with this. And we need to do a couple of things. Let's push down on this, pull it off, and we're going to, there's the hole, and we're going to plug it in to here. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, but you can't really see the part. Oh, that's why you can't see the part. I still have it on my other one. Silly me. There we go. Let's put this on here. Bring that out. Adjust it. Okay, then we fold these out. Ramps down. Open these up. That opens up. And then fold these out. These fold out. Now one thing I didn't do is try to see if we can swap those parts out, but I have those still on my original one. Maybe these are not as hard to get, but we've got a couple other things. We have this guy here, which I guess I forgot to show it. In bot mode, this can be used as a shield in bot mode. So I forgot to show that. His shield. Again, this is the first time I've ever handled this piece in my life. So, I mean, a lot of this stuff is the first time I've ever handled any of this. So, it's a little exciting, in a way. Now, there's this baggie of accessories here, which you're going to comes with 4 antenna, and so you can just plug those in however you want on this. Guessing you plug them into the holes that it feels nice and tight. I guess, is that how that's going to work? There's a couple of, there's an antenna hole there, antenna hole there. Seems really loose in these holes. Those are screw holes though, so they're not the intentional spot for the antenna, I guess. So I'm learning a lot here, but you could still set them in those holes if you wanted to. And then we've got this lift, so I guess I'm going to learn about that. I'm just going to plug it together like this. I'm going to check all this when we're done here, but yeah, it's a little more complex than I thought it would be. Just more going on with this. And so none of this can hold in here. None of this holds in here while it's in bot mode or any other mode. And then you've got these, which are just arms, repair bay arms, I guess. Plug them in here. So this is strange to me. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit foreign in a way to me that this is, wow, interesting. And lastly, we got a fast tracks to put on here. We're gonna do his little game that he plays. Put a Zarak in here, and then I'm gonna look and just see. I got a couple more questions, so I'm gonna check around and see, like, where do these go? I know that there's some I got on the side. I know there's another place to put them on there, but like we had them on here. So just leave them underneath, I guess, is what I'm going to do for the time being. So I'm going to check a few things out, and then I'll be back. Okay, so there are two things to, I guess, clean up on this. First of all, this does plug in, but it just doesn't seem, it's like you just find a spot that it actually plugs in, and it actually does plug in. So it was something that I was thinking this doesn't plug in, but it does. Then you can take this gun, split it in two, and there's a tab right here, and well, I think this tab would work too. That's a better looking side to it. Then there's a tab right here, and let's plug that into here. There's a hole. It's actually a square hole. It looks like a square hole in the back. That's going to finish this off, and then as a Zarak, I guess, is going to man a station or something. So there we go with it. And it's one of those things that it's a good size. So keeping it in frame is going to be a bit of a challenge. But let's do the first of the gimmicks, because it's got a couple. Well, I guess it's really only got the one gimmick, but you push this in the back here and hold on to that. So this pops it up. It's kind of a rudimentary way to knock him off of there. So, but it still works. It gets the job done. It looks pretty good. Coming over here, we can see it from the side of everything. We got guns on the back here. You can still see the legs present in here. So this kind of just looks like an antenna, although it's part of the gun. You got this ramp. You can have him go down the ramp, which, there we go. We can have him go down the ramp if you want to. And just quickly looking at the back, what we got going on, I think we still have, so we still have the helmet, Darth helmet connected to the back, got the arms right here, the guns so he can defend himself from behind, more legs, seeing how that gun's attached there. And then this side here is going to be more of the same of what we just saw, and another ramp. And obviously other things can go up and down it. And this, really, you're not going to fit a wheel jack on the ramp. You're not going to fit a prowl. Well, I mean, those are good guys. You wouldn't put them on there anyway. But there we go. We got the little antenna. And I will say that they're a little loose in there. It is what it is. Now, we can do a couple of other things. We have this repair bay. And let me just bring in some other vehicles to use with it. So I guess I'm just going to bring in some Legends figures. But getting over here, we can bring this whole thing up to here and manipulate it a little more. So we've got these repair arms that I didn't put them in too hard because you're going to be pulling them back out anyway. But they can articulate right there. Over here, we can kind of lift this up. It's got a, and I didn't put this in too hard either, but probably should have tightened it up a little bit more than that. But you can have this sort of jack. It's a lift. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. Like, it doesn't make sense. How'd you already get up to this point for the lift? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But it's something. It's like, hey, what can we do here? We got to have something going on. It's got to look like there's something going on in the city. And I understand that. They put some stuff to work in here. And then Lord Zarak, which I thought that hole was, he was going to fit in this hole back here, but I guess you can sort of make him stand back there, or, you know, he can go just sit in there, but he's still supposed to be controlling this whole thing. Now I think he could fit in this hole in here also. No, there's no room in that hole there. So I don't know. I'm not sure the official place for him. Still, overall, it's an okay, well, it's actually a good looking mode. It's not super functional. It's not something that you'd probably want to do a lot with. But this day and age, especially with my collecting, I don't do much with it. I put it in its mode and display it, and I enjoy looking at it. Here's the third-party one that I've got, and I've got a bunch of extra Legends in here. I just kind of stow them away over here until they're going to be needed, till they're going to be used in a video. And this would be a good time to pull out a couple of the differences. So we've got like a different Zarak and a different Fast Track, and these were all made bigger than the G1, but pretty much how this operates is almost the same, but yet there's still some differences. I mean, there are some significant differences now that I have the vintage one and I've done all this. So this is a major improvement, but it lacks the charm of G1. I really should look up the name of it. I think it's a Cyan Culture one. I think Cyan Culture made this because they made Metroplex, but I don't want to misspeak on that. Anyway, that's the bigger head. Now this one, the whole thing turns, well, it's just a much bigger head. Yeah, just a much bigger head on this guy. And over here, we have, let's move over here, and we've got the fast tracks that come with that. So the fast tracks isn't significantly larger, but it is more detailed, and they made it look a little different. And it's weird because it's a little bit bigger, but the tires are smaller. It's so much different. Anyway, there's the charm of the G1, and you can never really get rid of that. Like you're gonna always say, well, the new one's better technology, bigger, but G1 still has that charm, which is like I'm torn, and I'm more excited about maybe getting an affordable reissue like this for a G1, or excited about getting the missing link. All right, it shows 2 more modes. There's this, what's wackadoodle? He's just sitting down and his flaps came out mode right there. And then there's the alternate base mode where he's sitting down with his legs spread mode. Neither one looked that great. And in fact, this base mode does still outshine these new modes they have decided that they made. So this is my look at the, let's make sure we got it right, BX03 Crazy Scorpion Giant. I think it is awesome. For a G1 collector, someone wanting to collect G1 that doesn't already have a complete Scorponok, this would be great. For a G1 collector that'd like to display another complete one, say you want one in base mode and you want one in bot mode, or you want one in bot mode and Scorpion mode, if you want one in all 3 modes, this is definitely a way to go. Way cheaper. I mean, a fraction of the price of trying to track down an original one and have all the parts shiny, crisp, and mint and new. I mean, it's a no-brainer for any G1 collector that's still trying to collect G1 in 2025. You have to have everything original. I gotta tell you, it's really, really close. Aside from, I don't know about the antenna, if those are gonna feel like the same original ones. Everything else seems to fit right with an original. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Like and subscribe. TH and to support your reviewer if you want to go buy one of these at Shozy Store or anything else at Shozy Store. Teddy Hanger out.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Decepticons, prepare to face Fortress Maximus. It will take more than your pathetic little dogs to stop Scorponok. Watch this! Now to rescue Daniel. It's a miracle we finally got this flying junk pile of yours stabilized.
You were the idiot who opened the plasma energy chamber, Galvatron.
And I will rule the galaxy!
We shall see, Galvatron.